corruption. That a few might stuff their pocket, but not racket by the pocket. From the constant comments, we ain't get no recess. Before things fall apart and the riot starts, even in chutney I'll tell them go. Make it sooner than later, yeah. To protect the future, please. For the sake of we children and the next generation, go. To safeguard our image, before Griffith cause more damage. Like a dog with fleas, a dog on the knees. And I beg you, go now. They try to stick me with rage me. They are more trick than Houdini. Streams turn into rivers, then into seas. That's why I'm singing, go now. Please, Mrs. Tabla, take Munila and Sharma, go now, please. Them minions, total villains, raking millions. Their slogan, we shall rise, it was so true. Tell John Public not to panic while them and they sidekick, swimming in a pool of dollars so blue. Like meat-eating vulture, they neglect agriculture. Mega fans of phony, Mama Guy Caroni, Sweet Man Glenn and Sharma, came face to face with the karma. And it was awful, gone through it to pull. Don't need a big mouth to tell them go. Watch her and see they just follow now, before we regret tomorrow, please. You're setting a bad example. Family values they trample. Go. It's only vice they desire now, before the 5 years expire. Like a dog with fleas, a dog on the knees. And a bleeding go now, before we end in bankruptcy. Before they empty the treasury, streams turn into rivers, then into seas. It's why I'm bleeding go now, immediately. And don't forget your AG, go now, please. Love to quarrel, always oral, highly immoral. They let the good doctor starve to death. Used to court him, once support him, no road to point for him. But once in power, they quickly forget. They love confrontation, so no mediation. The case by the Privy Council, but the warriors is settled. You see, you could make a fortune filling up a lagoon. The environment is boost out these people too. Is why I want them go. With them old lies they peddling now. It's only PR they selling. They wouldn't tell me the whole truth. The man just wanted a root. Before they carve out a mountain, before the cost we start counting. Like a dog with fleas, a dog on their knees. And I beg it go now. Always get the contract. Who profit from the kickback? Streams turn into rivers, then into seas. Is why I sing it go now. Tell Munila and Surush, it's best they seek refuge. Go now, please.
91.5 Real FM got you covered.
Bye. Bye.
This is Urban Life.
You asking me what is wrong with Trinidad? You can't understand why things go on so bad. You find we so rich in human resources, and yet the country going to pieces. Well, let me tell you, my friend, where we went wrong. After Eric Williams' old car breakdown, we called in an AR, we ordered an next car and installed a new driver. With 33 passengers from the party, we gave him a maxi taxi, fitted with mag wheels, tape deck, computer, air conditioned 8-cylinder. With posh new fittings, this maxi car arrived. Then it started to swerve and nosedive. It took a year for passengers to realize. They say the new driver cannot drive. Well, of the 33 chosen passengers, Ramnat, Pandey, Humphrey and Sudama, they wouldn't let the poor driver drive in peace. They distracting him and wouldn't cease. While he driving, they hitting him some big cloud. So he stopped the maxi and put them out. And to discuss their fate, they went to drink us straight by a club called 88. The driver called his sweet mouth friend Flash Gordon to give him some driving lessons. Flash appointed himself as the conductor, pushing around them passengers. Meanwhile, the car running about helter-skelter. Pedestrians started to scatter. Ellis Clark had to jump and run to stay alive. He says, the new driver cannot drive. Questioning me so much about the driver. You want proof to show he can't maneuver. Well boy, the first month he get this driving job, you know the man bounced down for you, Rick Bob. He's swerving so much, John Humphrey get frightened. John asked him where he buy his license. And while the car swerving, John Humphrey trying to hold on to the steering. Well, some school children by the road run like hell. They lose their lunch and books as well. He driving on the fast wheel and Massey Lane and pelt Mr. Cola straight in the drain. He slammed the brakes on them old public servants. Some get injured, no insurance. Then he tied them up in bonds that he connived. They say the new driver cannot drive.
Go ahead, Igwe.
Yes, good afternoon, Igwe, Devon.
Yeah, blessed afternoon to
Bigger. Good afternoon to all the listeners of Independent Talk Real FM on all the platforms. Igwe. 60 million unanswered questions about K1AB. we're going to get into that today. We have to speak a little bit about the press conference by the RGPF and the latest development in the John T case and the trending situation with the persons what have to do with the housing authority of Grenada, and draw the parallel with the priority of this present administration as it relates to poor people, children, and so on. Then we'll touch a little bit about cost of living, because we must talk about the gas. Because a lot of song and dance was made about the gas at one time in the life of this administration, and the same set of people. I ain't hearing them now. Gas is almost $17 gates. 60 million unanswered questions about K1B, and I'll get straight to it. Mr. Prime Minister, but I know Mr. Telesford listening, so Mr. Telesford, through you, speak to the Prime Minister, because I don't know if he come back yet. What is the real deal or the details of the deal with K1B? We need to know. Why should the money be returned to the investors? What would be the status of the Grenadian passports in the hands of these investors? Who are the investors that will inherit the project, and what are the relation or relationship to the initial company, Mr. Warren in particular? Mr. Prime Minister, I could answer that because you inform the nation whenever certain actions are taken by government, find out who fund. But did any person associate with the companies or directors of K1B contributed to the NDC campaign? We could ask you that. Will the Prime Minister be a man, be man enough and reveal that the K1B or its associates did not fund his campaign, so the Grenadian people will accept that the deal was not tainted? Is the Honorable Deacon Mitchell or any of his associates stand to receive any money as a result of the deal with K1B? We're asking direct questions. Why is Daisy Andal, a local CBI agent for K1B, sitting on the CBI board? Somebody need to investigate. Maybe George Worm. Investigate who is sending emails from Andal at K1B.com as we speak. Is it still Daisy Andal? If so, isn't that corruption or conflict of interest? Because some time ago, the Prime Minister would say Grenada is a small place, so you expect conflict of interest, but how you manage it, but that one too deep. Mr. Prime Minister, we suspect that a CBI agent is sitting on the CBI board or marketing a local CBI agent. Must be the other CBI agent must be real concerned, because if you have a CBI agent sitting on the board, it's a conflict of interest. It's a matter for concern as to who will be making the decisions on applicants. Mr. Prime Minister, the poor people say forget about that fake $50 and give them some real $50 in assistance in the struggle. Now, what is the true situation with the Vice President of K1B, the one that sits on the CBI board? Because we hear Mr. Duncan saying the board or a committee advise the government, because time is money, to come to that agreement. We want to know if that individual was part of that committee that advised the government of Grenada. Because in light of that, we also want to know how much monies, quantum, did Mr. Warren invest? His money we're talking about. His money we're talking about in the Kawana Bay. Because he stands to gain quite a sum, because chatters on the street say about 22 million US. But we want to know how much money did he invest? And whilst you are that, how much money did the other investors invest who stands to get a return on the investment? Because if the project do complete and the project do finish, how will people get in return on the investment? I thought you have to get return on the investment when you invest in something and it start to make money. I didn't know when you settle in and then you hearing people have to get back the money. But we want to know, Mr. Warren, how much money did he invest in the Kawana Bay? Because we go continue to speak about that, because we're doing our own investigations. And did Mr. Warren invest, or did he contribute to the big fete and the rally gate? So I want you to line up that clip when the Prime Minister talking about the big fete and the rally, because I want people to hear it from its own words. Because Grenada is my constituency. Real FM is my parliament. And I'm being the people's spokesman, blessed and protected by the ancient of days. I must speak. And I can always say, my purpose here is to give people the facts. What they do with it is a matter entirely for them. And to those who listen to the program and get offended, I meant to offend you. Because what I'm saying is facts. This program has been opening up the eyes of many people, because in my travels, people make reference to why we see them and them in a different light, and all the things you've been saying on the program, we seeing them come to pass. And we always see here, where shame is absent, anything could happen, including lies, corruption, victimization. Devon.
Blessed evening, Master Carl, Igwe. Blessed evening to all our listeners and viewers. And so it's another afternoon where we bring you facts, right? We contribute, right, in ensuring that you know what is going on in Grenada. And so, there are so many issues, so many things that are going on right now that, we can choose from so much and everything. And a pleasant afternoon to all, especially our supporters of the NNP, Grenadians on a whole, even those NDC who are listening to us and trying to gain some more knowledge, because their party are not really giving them the truth. And so, however, though, I want to touch, Master Carl, on the question of the housing authority. Sometime, a couple of days ago, there was a press conference by the Minister Telesford, and a few of his personnel, and a number of things came out of that. But what I want to speak about is the whole question of persons being delinquent, right, on payments and so for the houses, and which is expecting, because the best of us, we owe, banking institutions, we owe the shops, we owe whatever persons that we're dealing with, and so. And it's amazing to understand that it's around $2 million, $3 million, right, that is being owed by personnel who occupy, right, these houses. I think it's Subies, that's one, the one in River Road, right, Mount Rush, and there's another one. And the government apparently is moving to collect, right, on these delinquents and so. And yes, it is something that you invest in and everything like that. Well, and not just invest, but most of the housing units was given as donations by the government of China. Right now, I want to appeal to government. Just as you gave the business people tax amnesty, you gave other persons tax amnesty. I'm appealing to you to also apply amnesties to those personnels, right, who are being delinquent at this point in time, because we understand the economic situation. We understand the persons who are dwelling there. They are not persons per se who are not under the poverty line. So I want to bring to you, Minister Telesford and Prime Minister, members of his government too, give the people who are delinquent in the sum of over $2 million, give them an amnesty. Let the government basically take up that expense, just as you did with the business people. They didn't pay a lot of VAT that they have collected, and so a lot of them didn't pay and they had penalties on it. You waive it from them. They are business people, they are into business. But the persons who occupy these units and so, I think that they need your assistance. And I am begging, I'm appealing to you to give them an amnesty, waive all the charges and let them start afresh, with proper guidelines. And so you can do that by the stroke of a pen. We know you can. So I'm appealing to you, Minister Telesford. Right? Let us see the heart, the good heart that you have inside of you. Extend that to the persons in need. And so, because, at this hard economic time, it's difficult, very difficult, and they need it. Right? People will smile at you. You will do at least one good thing so far, right, for persons in need. And try not to make excuses of what you can't do that or you can't allocate and do, because you have done it for a number of other things which is irrelevant to the people of this country. So I urge you once again to get it done. Master Carl?
You will let me take a break and come back again.
From the north, covering south, east, and west. This is Real FM.
You tell me candid, they too wicked, far too crooked. That is the frequent comment I hear. Too one-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, yes again. For their own abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up over. They unleash the lawyer, set up an inquiry, just to get Kid Rowley. But they wouldn't sue the false paper screw. I don't need to close to tell them go. Hurry, pack up your bundle now. Stop fooling the people. The country taking a beating. So maybe I repeat it. Go. They're like a natural disaster. Now. 10 times worse than Ebola. Like a dog with fleas and down on their knees. And I'm begging food. Now we and I did one week. Prophesy to the country. Streets turn into rivers, then into seas. It's why I'm singing food. Now this is my humble petition. And if it ain't for election, go. Now, please. Accidental, detrimental, could be lethal. Are you willing to to take that chance. Much too seedy, they too greedy, eyes too beady. Honeymoon end before the romance. We expect corruption, but now it's on check or interruption. That a few might stuff the pocket, but not racket by the pocket. From the constant comments, we get no recess. Before things fall apart and the riot starts. Even in chutney, I'll tell them go. Make it sooner than later. To protect the future, please. For the sake of we children and the next generation. To safeguard our image. Before Griffith cause more damage. Like a dog with fleas, a dog on the knees. And I'm begging, they try to stick me with Rashmi. They have more trick than Houdini. Streams turn into rivers, then into seas. That's why I'm singing. Please, Mrs. Pamela. Take Munila and Sharma go. Nah, please.
Global pandemic continues to adversely affect global supply chains and increase the cost of food and fuel and worsen an already high cost of living. In light of all of the above, no one is coming to save us. We must save ourselves.
41% of that arrears are owed by the Soubise residents, 51% by the Mungay residents, and the remaining 8% by the Frequente residents. The second demand letter will be sent by our lawyers during the course of next week, September 18th, and that again is going to give you another opportunity to come in and speak with us. Should you not comply with that, then we will have no other choice but to send a final demand notice. We hope it does not get to sending a final demand notice.
We agree. So, here goes. The Prime Minister say the situation bad and nobody is coming to help us. That his was not mine. I didn't help write for him. I'm not part of artificial intelligence. I don't know where you get it. Then you have somebody in the housing authority outlining what will happen to people in the areas where the thing happening. So the first area I will deal with, because to put that in its perspective, they are low income housing. And some of the people what living in those houses is some of the people they take the 150 from. Igwe. Some of the people who used to work with in faith organization, what they make go. Some of the people that used to work with CJs, what they make go. Some of the people that used to work in Paul's Airport and other places, what they take the work from them, living in those areas. You understand? So when we come here and we talking about the 150, they say why we balling, because we realize he go have problem down the line, and the problem start right now. Second is, and Devon touch on it, you give tax break to who have. But the question is, did any persons you give the tax break contributed for the big fete and the rally? Because we have to start ask that question. Because the Prime Minister say, when you see government making strange decision, find out who pay for the rally and the big fete. Okay. So, tax break, who pay for the rally and the big fete? And you had to collect millions. Millions you had to collect. And you forgo the millions you didn't want it. Because who pay for the rally and the big fete? A couple thousand now, you want to hold poor people children in the neck. It is a bad thing when poor people children get in a position and try to victimize and take advantage on poor people children. The man above doesn't watch them and he giving them warning, like the accident and he's warning, he giving them. Because he don't damage a city or a place without a warning. So here goes. Because you have some people are going to address this thing too. First, Lennox Andrew. Subi is there in your area. Lennox have a heart. And go to the Prime Minister and tell him, give them fellas and them an amnesty on the bills. Lennox are counting on you. Because you say Lennox. Because when you go to the people and ask them to vote for it, they say Lennox, all you don't know how to run country. They say Lennox, all you go pay late. They say Lennox, I don't know how to make money. You give them blessed assurance that you know how to get money, you know how to run country. Well, show the people in Subies now that you know how to run country and give them a res amnesty. Because we have to get onto the supplemental and the 7 million to have fat and fun, you know. While some people go be balling, Lennox all they go be fetting and bringing on plane load from the diaspora, forgetting these people and I mean Subies could lose where they stay in. And it goes back to socio-economic reasons for crime, which housing is a part of. Because when we come here, we just cut the thing. We doesn't just come here and talk. We just say things with sense. Socio-economic reasons, because Vanny Cohen agree, the experts say that is the cause of crime. So when 40% of the people in Subies could lose their place, what go happen? Lennox, what go happen? Attacking to you man to man. You have to do something. That's the reason they was in the community center and they're going to tell on you, you know, because they say you don't do nothing. Your own people are going to tell on you. So Lennox, you get a perfect opportunity to redeem yourself. So do something for the people in Subies. Because don't forget, we're dealing in a thing with crime. And socio-economic reason is the cause of crime, and housing and where people stay in and they live in arrangement is part of the socio-economics. So you see, and that could affect, when you have crime, it affect tourism, and tourism could affect the budget because the budget had shortcomings, so you have to go and ask for a supplemental. So you see how the thing is one big ball. And if you don't fix one place, all about ending up in shit street. The next person I want to speak to is the Attorney General, Senator Claudette Joseph. You go and tell them men and them in tongue, Peter David giving all a little 100 there and thing, and you go do more. So, here comes your opportunity, Attorney General, for the people, the housing people. Do more for them. You get a perfect opportunity. Instead of going and drink and putting up your hand and showing guns, saying with tight pants, you get an opportunity now. Because you see, Lennox say, I don't know how to go around country, I to run country. Let we see. Let us see. Because I have given back investors 22 million in Kawana Bay. I have given back people passport holders their money and they still have the passport, but the local people they want to put knife down the neck. I am going on the media and giving them all kind of warning. So, Lennox Andrew, Claudette Joseph, and the star boy, Andy, because frequently they in your place, Andy. You get your money from GDB. So you big river full up. Let smaller having take some water, Andy. Because this big river you full up with how much million from GDB. The same money now, these people If you didn't take, they could have go by GDP and try to get a little money, Andy. But you take all you and Nako.
Take all.
Or you take also Andy. You planting flowers and every day they painting some roadside. But the people and them, things go west. They could do have a place to stay, Andy. So here comes your opportunity. Because we've seen everything about all the lime. Put your money where your mouth is. Mr. Andy Williams. You understand? You get the perfect opportunity to put your money where your mouth is. Mr. Andy.
You know, Master Carl, it's amazing how this government operates. A couple of months ago, they went to the farmers who, as one of our persons on YouTube said, they went to the farmers and basically tell them to take a 50% haircut on what government owes them, right? And the same farmers, a number of them, is occupying these housing units. And so, now what you want them to do? When you demand 50% from them and now you're demanding, right, that the people there, they have couple of weeks or so for final notice, and you know after final notice, what is the aim, what is your aim? Things like eviction, right? You have a heart. Just as how you want to ensure that the rich and the mighty and those who have to continue to have, turn around and help the persons who are in need. They need you at this point in time. And I want to make an appeal to my parliamentary representative, Honorable Lennox Andrews. The Sobeys complex is in your constituency, as Master Carl said. And you are to do your utmost best to ensure that these people are not being evicted. You are responsible. You are the parliamentary representative at this point in time. Go have a sit down with them. Let them explain to you, but you already know the difficulties that people go through economically at this point in time, right? The jobs that were taken away from a number of them, right? So they cannot meet their monthly demands, right? You have to go there, Mr. MP, and sort this thing out. The people of Sobeys is depending on you right now. They supported you. They supported you and assist you to get into government. It is your turn now to turn around and help them. They need your help. Let me see if you're going to put your money where your mouth is.
So here goes it. Claudette, make a better try. Please, Claudette. No mama guy. And you, don't leave us with the cow shit. Don't mash everything up. And like I tell you, small, big river full up already. You get it? GDB full of big river for you. Check on the smaller ravine and them. Check on the smaller ravine and them. Because the smaller ravine and them will contribute for GDB to give you the money.
Exactly.
You the smaller ravine contribute. And if it happen to them now, I feel you got to go back for funds again because they're still talking about country coal. Andy, make a better try. Please! Don't make no mama guy. Because the people need you. And you win. The people vote for you.
Yes, you win.
You have people in that place that might vote for all you. But no, that's what I returning them for. That's what I'm telling you. All the promises they make. Now, it's supplemental. Because you see, all these things tied in, is supplemental when there is a potential shortfall in the budget. So when I already give in with the tax break, I didn't realize that would cause a shortfall in the budget. The House of Representatives and the Senate to consider approving a supplemental budget. A supplemental budget provides additional funding to those areas where deficiencies are found. So the housing but a deficiency is found. But you do take the supplemental. Because play the clip with the Prime Minister again when he see the things that nobody coming to help, because we need to make that point here.
Global pandemic continues to adversely affect global supply chains and increase the cost of food and fuel and worsen an already high cost of living. In light of all of the above, no one is coming to save us. We must save ourselves.
So, Mr. Prime Minister, with that said, and we believe you, because everybody feeling the pinch. If he could have given the gas for a low price, why he cap it at 15? Andy says, so Andy, if we could give you at a lower price, why cap it at 15?
And the gas price is...
So Andy, what I want you to say, if we cannot give you at a lower price, let's cap it at 15. I'm talking to Andy because I think he's the acting Prime Minister, because you have to talk to you. You're the leader of the nation. If you cannot give it at 15, cap it at 15. Now, they will tell you now it's world condition. But when he was loaded in, it wasn't world condition. Because I like to be thing with them.
You know, Master Kala, I have an issue. As you mentioned the parliamentary representative for the South. I personally have an issue when it comes to persons like Minister Andy being given or being appointed acting Prime Minister. Right? And I'm very serious about it. When you have persons who have questions over the head, questionable characters, we all do. But when you have persons who, in every circle, persons have to say something about them. Look at the fiasco in GB. No answers from them. And we know it's wrongdoing. But yet for all, you have someone like Minister Williams at the helm, governing our country. What sort of example are we setting?
Yes, good afternoon, caller.
Hello?
Hello?
I'm also making joke.
Yeah, Devon.
Yeah, what sort of example are we setting for the young ones? Right? Yes, Minister Williams, you did win your seat. Right? You are the MP. But up to now, at this point in time, you have questionable things to answer to.
Hello?
Hello? Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Yeah, half in the housing in Monkey is in the northeast.
Say that again?
Okay?
The housing in Monge.
Half of the housing is in the northeast, the North Closet Joseph.
Half of it?
Yeah.
Also, I could call and start by Run.
Okay. That is interesting.
Run with it.
Yeah.
I'll call on Run with it.
That is interesting.
Well, based on the information the caller just give Gates, Mr. Ron, Honorable Ron Redhead, Andre is a patrician, but you happen to be in the next place. Please, Ron. You get a perfect situation to redeem yourself. The Ancient of Days has handed you a perfect scenario to make yourself look good.
Yes.
You are called it?
No.
Look out for your people.
So, you have a guy, he like to write, I think they say he's something in the Postal Corporation.
Who? Robbie?
I don't call him no name. I don't come to call name here. He's a big man in the Postal Corporation. The people know who. I don't give you nobody forward here. He write, you realize that as soon as NDC won election, the price of gas started to decline, even in the US. More power to us. What happened on the road to Damascus, big man? The same man who ride that, I know all you listening. What happened on the road to Damascus with the price of gas? Gas is almost $17. So we take the call.
Hello?
Good day. And Mr. Carl, Devon, Odo.
Good afternoon, my
Yeah.
friend.
Afternoon, man. Afternoon. Yeah, Devon, I remember last year, September, and the minister of MIT came and said that when you remove the cap from the gas price will be lower. But Devon and Mr. Carl, what I'm saying, by removing the cap on gas from 15, constantly 15, that means the gas price are we going up, right? And are we going up? So then, what if having more pressure and more pressure on the poor man back? Why you giving more pressure? There are some people there enjoying life, right? So I call upon the government, turn around the attitude towards the poor people and see what they could do, right? As they somebody housing, and so they are trying to pressure the people. Think hard. We take away the 150 from the people that was getting a little money. And now we decided to pressure them again because they not say they don't want to pay, they want to pay. But when they took away money from them, what do you expect? That's going to happen. So that's my suggestion, man. This happened.
You good?
Hey, we back.
Yeah, we back.
So, one say, you realize that here the other one. Enjoy the new, that was on the 17th of September 2022. The acting Prime Minister presently say, enjoy the new gas price tomorrow. Why cap it at 15? When we can give you for less. So why you don't give any people for less now? Because you claim when we could give you for less. Let me take the call.
Hello?
Afternoon,
Good afternoon, how are you?
Master Devon, Master Carl.
Hey, good
Okay,
afternoon.
but I just get kind of sick right now with this information for the people and the housing problem. I thought the low-income houses, the people had a fixed price. They had to pay a month until they done. If it's 10 years, 15, how much years to pay? And that's what was?
No, I don't know.
That's what was in the past government. They was paying by the month. They give them a figure to pay. And they can't go below it, they can't go above it. Pay it until they're done. Because according to how the amount of money they're working for per month.
Yeah, but when they make them go and they take the 150 from them, kind of thing, how they go pay?
Well, that was the thing. Why they come now and they change it now and they owe them. They didn't know we had a COVID problem when people was losing jobs and what going for 2 years. Now they want them to not stay on the street. They want those people to go back in Subi so the water to take them.
No, they don't care. Job don't care. Job in cabinet, job in parliament, you forget?
I hear him.
Job don't care.
I heard the Minister of Housing was giving some story about the fittings in what place, in what house. The fittings so good, and when they check it, you don't have parts here. They had to look for parts to have on the ground to prepare because they had to fix what termite and what they had to fix. Thing on the wall they had to fix. So I don't know which place they had to fix. And they can't get fittings here. They want to get now where they could get it in Grenada to buy so they could fix it. So that is why some don't get in housing. So I can see this problem what they're talking about. That is dotishness. Even those houses in current, when they went and watched it, I saw it on the TV. They say they sell it. They tell them plain out, they're selling, go to the bank and go out to get money. So that means they say not because it's low income, that means free. We selling. And up to now, they make them apply over. They apply over about 30 times already. And now you ain't hearing nothing. Now they come with problem. They owe.
All right, caller.
Yeah.
All right, Igwe. A chatter on the street say a journalist owe to you. One of the leading journalists in Grenada, they say, they owe for Mongill. I don't know. They don't say his name. They just say a journalist It's one of the leading journalists in Grenada. Oh, they never pay.
You have a lot of them.
I don't know who. So if somebody know, call us and tell us. I don't know who.
The O.
So yes, Mr. Andy, September 2022, that just last year, you say enjoy the new gas price. That your words, eh? You're only reading it for people to hear. Why cap it at $15 when we can give you for less? So then why you giving them for almost $17 now, Andy? Because he's the prime minister, you sit on the thing. On easy here that lies the crown. You understand? And with that same housing issue, listeners, they blame the NNP and say the NNP had the houses long and they don't give it out. Okay. For argument's sake, they didn't give it out. That is a fact. How long this present administration is in power? And what are the reasons for not giving out the houses? Because if the reasons are the house incomplete and you have to do works inside the house, okay. But a supplemental budget could have fixed that. Because the supplemental budget to get $7 million to have fed, when everybody catching in Grenada, you see the priority of the government, they rather have fed for the 50th independence, and people have problem even with basic things like housing. So the 7 million, why you didn't check on a supplemental to fix up the place and give it to people? We know it's your set of people you want to give, but give it to people. Why? Why is the question. What's the why? Why you doing that? To poor people children. Why? Because you say NNP want to keep people poor, but you want to put the poor on the street now, you want to make them poor plus destitute. You're threatening them on the media now. We go send a letter, we go do all of that. But Mr. Andy Williams, why you letting... Because if we could have given the gas for less, why we causing the gas to be almost $17? You understand what I'm saying, Devon? Mm-hmm. Why?
Well, I guess they would... One of the reasons that they would say is that the government need revenue.
And people will say, why are saying 17? 1688 is closer to $17 than 16. Yeah. You have to get $16 plus.
And not only that, it's tricky with that. Right on the pump, they tell you what, 1688, but you will not be paying basically 1688. You know?
That is somebody on the pump call us.
No, but why I say that?
Mm-hmm. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, we'll take it again.
Hello.
Afternoon, everyone.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Carl.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to hear you start with the press conference or go on Thursday.
No, we go deal with that.
Huh?
We have to deal with it.
We have to. Okay. That's what I want to hear. I thought was that the first thing you're coming up with here today. Listen, and you don't asking about Kennedy, but I don't hear you tell me nothing.
I tell Kennedy you ask after him, and Kennedy say he will link you.
You sure Kennedy say that?
I have no reason to lie. me and KB lie Friday, and I tell him, well, a good friend close to him up there, inquire of him. He said, don't worry, man, I'll check out.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but I want to hear if you didn't listen to the press conference, play the tape of the press conference. No one to answer no question. The detainee, what is the new thing what the detainee say, what they say they do, what was going on? I don't hear nothing.
Well, we will get into the press conference when you put on the phone.
All right. Well, later.
Now, we on the People's Parliament here, we want the Minister of National Security and the advisor to the Minister of National Security and the Commissioner that there are certain persons within the RGPF that leak information. When the new National Party was in power, it was okay for them to give the two-day people and them information and make Edwin Martin and Tafawa Pay and them look bad by the government lose election and NDC coming. And NDC put the leakers and them in position up there. They may want to give information in charge now. So, chatters on the street say some information leak Friday because they get like a crack in the thing. So they may have to go make a hurry press conference to do damage control. The press conference was one like they may come unprepared.
Yeah.
They was forced, that chatters on the street say, they was forced to go on a press conference because man tell man and you start to see things circulating on social media where there's a break in the case. All the o'clock you see things start to write on social media from the same source. They used to give information about promotion and thing. So I want them, but I say too smart dead in front of one smart do.
Too smart.
Yeah, because when you're too smart, problem go happen. So if you are leakers in charge, then what make the reputation on not being confidential until phone had to mash up and all kind of thing. If you are them in charge, you expect a habit is something hard to break, Igwe. So little information come. And watch, I never see in no time in Grenada because I've been part of the organization of the RGPF for a lot of years. I never see confidential information in the public domain soon. I never see that. You know.
Somebody say they take out cap and they put on hat.
What? You hearing man saying what the suspects say? I tag this thing on them. So my fear is if the suspect and say what we won't get a fair trial, they right. Of
course.
Because all what is believed, what they tell the police, you hearing it? I see one circulating now, the man in Oban. He last set a conversation on the phone. When man asking him where you did. You see that in the public, all news people doing that stupidness. And nobody don't telling them nothing. But when Linda Straker asks Ranico in question, he don't want to answer. He doing like he vexed with Linda Straker. But you see thing where man say, where you there? I don't know who calling me. I will see you just now. All this confidential thing in the public domain. Like the thing turn comedy now.
Wow.
The thing turn comedy. You had a man in charge of CID. Then you put a next man in charge. You say, as the next man come, you get success. But you say, the next man you take out is a good one. You demote, so you demoting a good person. This thing is like comedy, like child's play. And like you don't have no adult in that room. Because the advisor to the Minister of National Security, and I tell people they do good. The king's son, I tell them they do good. They mash up phone, I tell them they do good. What the best person, and I give you a free advice, RGPF. When I have press conference, let Jacob brother go on it. And John Mitchell, people go believe that two fellas more. Because everybody say they believe Jacob brother more than Vanny. They say they believe the peer guy. Other people say genuine. So let him go on the press conference. And John Mitchell, that who the population believe in. Because this kind of smile and green Vanny does thing, everybody saying watch him. This guy, you want to resolve issues for yourself. Cat watching cheese. If you lock up a cat in a room with cheese gates, and he had no way for the cat to go outside, and when you visit back the room, the cheese missing, who eat the cheese? You don't see it eat the cheese, but you know the cat will eat the cheese. So, I warn them, Igwe was here many times, I tell them this leaking thing is a problem. I tell them fix it. I tell them he had traitors on board. Examine the horn. So a little information come about John T. You seen all kind of thing on social media. How they get a break in the case.
They don't get nothing.
Then you see on social media what is believed, what the suspects say to the police in graphic details.
I think I sit down and watch that too.
How that happen? I mean,
and nobody in Grenada, nobody do telling the RGPF. Because if you watch my Facebook post, I say intel. I tell the police be careful with intel. Because these men and them go come in the trial and say they can't get a fair trial. Because too much thing going on. And then the police asking people to call them about the mouth boss. Every little thing they say the suspects say everybody know.
a good lawyer turning this thing upside down. You mean
a man
trial.
Dead in Oban, you seen he last set a conversation on the phone in the public domain.
That was supposed to be.
I don't know what kind of Macari show are going on.
And this is supposed to be part of evidence, eh? So
let me tell the colleague.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
What? Master, tomorrow evening, I'm looking for the news. The one they have in custody. I want to see if he getting bail or he going up on Richmond Hill. I don't know what's going on, what really going on. When you asking the commissioner, he can't answer. But who he could say he had one in custody? This one, where he was all the time? The money they say they're giving out, he come for it? Hey, Carl?
I don't know.
There's something going on. When you're asking Cohen, what you asking him, he can't give information.
No, let me listen to me. They only come on the news conference because information leak.
Yeah, but it's true. That one they hold is a true one.
I don't know. They say that kind of thing because you seen people on social media saying or they telling people look at what the man tell the police. I don't know how they know. I don't know. Well, I don't even want to say what I hear because I'm afraid. I don't want to prejudice the matter for the man and them to come and see how they can get a fair trial.
When I ask Mr. Cohen if the award what the person have to get, if they come true, he can give that information. Everything he can give. When you're asking Mr. Pierre, he holding it down, he grabbing it from Mr. Pierre. He don't answer. So what kind of thing? That Mickey Mouse man? That coop? Tell me what going on there. What going on in Grenada? I could tell me. Tell me what going on in that little Grenada. Oh, how Grenadians people could leave these people and them come and mess up Grenada. Grenada, they going so good. No, man. And everybody, Carl, what? Me the first person to stand up and hit my platinum because I can't take on that kind of thing what's going on in that little Grenada. Yeah. I don't like it. Grenada don't run in as a country. I don't know what's going on. I never seen no country getting on so. Trump they making stupidness and that ain't going on in America much less. What's going on in Grenada? Man, tell you, man, say something, do something. Let me come on. Let me get up. Stop sleeping and wait.
And you see.
All right, thanks.
The chatters on the street. Because you see, the mouth boss on Fort George. The chatters on the street say, watch. The commissioner, that what they say, that not me. They suggesting that the commissioner was not aware of the press conference. And they say right now the commissioner vex. I don't know. Gates. Let me take the call.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Bro!
Bro,
Me and you work in the organization for a long time. Real stupid is going on now, you know.
a lot of stupid names.
I don't know, you know.
But
And we want them not to interfere with the police force, but they don't hear. We say if I interfere with the force, it's criminal elements and bad men in the force will go like that. They didn't listen.
Yeah, because we Grenadians starting to get vexed now because we might have to try something. Not try, we go have to do something again. We're getting vexed. And it's time for us to get up and get. Yeah, they're playing the fool now. Huh? They're playing the fool.
Alright.
Right.
So for those who know about the making of movies, Devon. Now, when you film a movie and they say in the movie box office it will come out in September, then you have what you call trailers before the movie come out. That's what going on with the RGPF there, movies. See a kind of trailers before the movie.
They linking the movie before you.
And then the chatters on the street. Now, after the press conference, Devon, I was in the city, in the capital.
Up top.
And then, they say after the press conference, they see men back on the alleged scene of the crime.
After what, months?
That movie, they making a movie.
Film a movie.
And I want to see if nobody here going to roll for that stupidness are going on. Yes, they have somebody in custody and I'm happy. However, all these things so wrong then. The matter in St. Andrews again. You hearing all what the alleged person tell the police. How? Giving the whole story and narrative. How come this thing and them is in the public doing something wrong?
Well, Master Carl, I wouldn't say in such a mild way or something wrong. What I would say is that the person...
They've done something wrong. I like to sugarcoat thing too much.
You're not listening to me, Master Carl.
Let me hear.
The person at the helm who is giving all those information, right? Mr. Cohen. He's not believable. And the Gradient people. So if he is not believable as the head, you expect those below to be believable? Everything that they say, right, is questionable. We remember the voice note, right? Where that said gentleman even said that he had to listen carefully in words to effect to make sure it's not him.
Yo, Devon, I don't think we're on the same page. What is my concern is what should be evidence in the matter to convict the people is being on the street.
Leaking.
It's like if the people and them give a particular statement, you hear in everything what they give in statement on the street. And that is an issue, that is a problem. Because the same police and the same van telling people to call the police and give them information. But if the police mouth boss, if matters of that seriousness is being all about, then when you're seeing information with the thing in Woban and you're seeing it on social media with the man phone, they might block all the people's name and all the contents is in the public domain. So like this thing turn comedy is like a joke or a prank. Because you can't tell me, and listen this, Devon, and when Mr. Cohen comes in the press conference, they asking him the same set of questions. He's saying he don't know. He don't answer them, but you going on social media and you pull your phone and you see it. What, somebody sabotaging something? Something do right in that thing, eh? And you see, my concern about that is there, the people have to have confidence in the police, eh? Because if we don't have confidence in the police depend on people information, informant, and orders to solve crime. But if, all right, you have a piece of information now, Devon, about a crime, would you feel comfortable to go to the police? That is the crux of the matter.
You may not have a choice.
And you see, anything we accept, we cannot fix. And if we accept in that, it wouldn't be fixed. Because it's sad that the police force are to be reacting to information already out in the public domain. So they say press conference 3 o'clock. But 2:30, you see names of possible suspect, action, what could have happened on that fatal time, out already, you know, before the police, Mr. Cohen and Jacob brother went on the media. So when they went on the media, everybody already knew what they coming to say. And that is a problem. And that has nothing to do with who you like or who you don't like. Or that has nothing to do with yellow, green. That has nothing to do with that. Because the police force have or should have certain standards. But you're hearing in rum shops, chatters on the street, on bus, information. You see in news clip, information that could be evidence. I am concerned, Devon. I'm seriously concerned. And the Minister of National Security and the National Security Advisor and the Commissioner are to arrest that situation immediately. And you wonder, when it comes to the police force, if the present administration or the powers that be serious, in so much as Devon, the same outlet, the newspaper, that only Friday indicated what the press conference could be about. You see a document in that thing where the police headquarters could be moved to the carriage. Now, when you ask the question, why was the court moved from that same building? And chatters on the street say, because of radiation and others. So you move the court from a place deemed unsafe for the judges and the court. And the same outlet saying, you're sending the police.
The guards of the court going there. That's amazing.
And because it comes back to your representative, Devon, we know how to run country. Get a clip on. We know how to run country. But is it the best way of running the country, Devon? Now, we come here on those programs, Devon, and for me, it's nothing about ill-mouthing or hating on the present administration. But the present administration gave the nation so many promises that they could have fixed everything, even seaweeding. The man said they could have sort out, you know. And now, the performance of the administration is one, the Prime Minister is out more times than in.
That is a concern.
When we had the post conference with crime and a journalist asked him about an issue in Guam, he gave the impression to the Grenadian people he didn't know. And as far as I know, the Prime Minister should be briefed every day on crime. So to say he don't know, either he forget, or he don't care, or he above briefing, he sacrosanct, that thing and it don't matter to him. Or they might briefing somebody else. And that is a matter for concern because the peace and tranquility of the country. Because the RGPF is charged with to keep the king's peace. So, are we seeing an inadequate bunch at the helm of the RGPF and government presently? Because these things look to me like very elementary. And that is concerning in terms of, and you see all these things, and we have to understand. And I'm not browbeating the police because I know the struggles they go through. And if you look at the present construct of administration, Devon, police administration, ask yourself how much are these people came through regular policing in terms of barrack life. Ask yourself, what is the commissioner's thing with barrack life? Find out. The deputy with barrack life. Find out. The ACPs with barrack life. Find out. And you will see the understanding of what the rank and file going through is not something a lot of them have the experience of. Hence, you saw even in the agreement they made for fringe benefit, the regular police, regular, when you check up all the receive is not $100 in increase. But those people in the upper echelon, in some cases, one striker depends $500, one striker depends $650, and they still getting, they eating from the table, they eating the main course, and it's crumbs with his duty allowance and good conduct, and they still bending down together with the ordinary man and pick it up on the ground, like when Christ was in Galilee, the 5 loaves, the barley loaves and the fishes. After they was fed, they pick up 12 baskets of crumbs. So they eating from the main course. And they still bending down and fight with the rank and file for the crumbs on the ground. How would a police force like that be motivated, Devon? And when you ask those questions and then they believe you're hating, but these are important and relevant questions as relates to the RGPF. Then added to the fact, when promotion comes, is a fiasco. Added to the fact that they are not conforming persons who they deem are not on the same political hymn sheet with them. I don't know how they know that. They're not conforming them. And they're reverting, okay, they revert Tafawa Pierre from deputy commissioner back to a superintendent. And the only crime or only thing with Tafawa Pierre, he married Emmeline Pierre. Because if you look at Tafawa's appraisal, he exceeds expectation. But you see now, he wife green. So that means Tafawa green. Mm-hmm. So Larry revert him, okay. You might see, you might have your view, you might see you don't trust him, right, okay. Then you go and you revert Nelson. After he acted almost 2 years, after all his appraisal recommended that he should be conformed to the rank, you revert him. Why? He work in special branch during NNP time. Then you revert Wilson. Wilson in charge of mostly all the communications in the RGPF. You revert him. Why? You believe, you perceive him to be green. Then you hear a sergeant in the RGPF walking all about and say, they go revert them men and them they didn't confirm. So, and you know that that sergeant aligned because he doesn't make no bones about it. And he know who. Me and him just talking and just telling the same thing there, man. You hear he saying they go revert some more. So these decisions are not decisions made to improve the RGPF, but political decisions to victimize people. And then now it brings you to all this fiasco with these press conferences, and you're hearing information to suggest that maybe the commissioner didn't know.
Not surprising, that some of them things going on, and so. But in my view, where Superintendent Pierre was brought to head the CID, it was something that basically they had no other choice. They were forced to do something like that, right? Because the men and women in the RGPF talented, competent, but their leadership, right? The persons who lead them, right? They should take out ACP Cohen in charge of crime totally, because he's a waste of time in my view, right? He's just a spokesman because he's unbelievable. Nothing that comes out from his mouth, people take it 100% seriously. They're always questioning it. So if you don't have the leadership, the genuine leadership to ensure that proper information is being disseminated and protocols are being followed, then there's no use, right? Because if you have persons just leaking information and not know they started it, and so they're leaking information, they're doing things without authority being knowing, the forces in helter skelter, and they are destroying the security of our country.
Even that point you just make, Devon, it's baffling. Because the same Vani Cohen says, Jacob brother, Mr. Pierre, Issa Pierre. I use Jacob brother because Jacob and Issa in the Bible. So Issa was Jacob brother, Issa Pierre. He says Issa Pierre is a senior superintendent and he's qualified. But the RGPF took 2 retirees and bring back over Issa Pierre. Mm-hmm. So who fooling who? Because if Issa Pierre is all that you want John public to believe now, why you didn't choose Issa Pierre long? And if he that good, like Igwe toward World Cup, when the Poti tell Ratty, what? At first me think about the police boy. So then Ratty he say, maybe police boy good like you say. So if Issa good like Vani say, why Issa was not an ACP or the deputy commissioner if he that good? Why you going to take retirees and you have men like Issa Pierre there? And you allow the Prime Minister to say our succession plan you don't have. If you know all that, and when the Prime Minister made the statement out, succession plan, I mentioned Issa Pierre name gets him. I talk about how Issa Pierre and them feeling. And now Vani coming and saying like Issa Pierre is the best thing since sliced bread. And showing Ryan under the boss.
Yeah. But that's good for Ryan and them too.
I don't say not good for them.
I saying it.
I don't say that at all. Ryan is my friend.
Well,
and I do say that. Because Ryan has paid his dues. Now every time they move somebody or somebody retires from the criminal investigation department, they put in Ryan to hold papers. Ryan is a ASP and they conform Ryan to the rank. So if you're conforming him to the rank, that says something about him. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Carl and Mr. Rumin. And Mr.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon to the rest of the leader. I am concerned about
certain things I'm hearing, and I would like to know what are the procedures in place to remedy those situations. And I'm saying that in the background of a marketing board interview we had with the investigation they had years ago, where we knew for certain that the marketing
When you say years ago, how far?
But while the NMP was in power, there was an investigation into the marketing board.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And we found that there were a lot of inscrupulence taking place there, particularly with the manager of the marketing board at the time. Right? This government came in. I've never seen the total release, but we hear pieces. I think nothing have done, and nobody have faced any penalty for that. What has happened is that people lost their job because they had closed, semi-closed or closed the marketing board and reconstitute a temporary board, of which we're hearing now Mr. Andal stating that he had resigned and that he told the board, that the board that was there, told the Prime Minister was not to dissolve the board. And the Prime Minister went contrary to the board and dissolved the board. The Prime Minister have also stated that the board or the marketing board is in debt of $15 million and that government would have taken over that debt. Now the Prime Minister is saying that that debt must go halfway. In order, the farmers must agree to lose half of that. So I'm saying all that to say that these things that must happen. We have not heard nothing come out of it. We marketing board now in the next calendar weekend because it's semi-closed and it's semi-open. Right? We don't know what they're operating under.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Right. We were told that a new board should be in place. And the Prime Minister's word was that in 6 months or earlier. Well, 6 months passed and we didn't happen. The earlier didn't happen.
You know he does lie, eh?
I have to believe that.
All right.
Right? Now, my concern is there any avenue, any reporting format, any organization such as the Integrity in Public Life who could investigate those areas and come up with the findings and publicly give solution to it? Because, it's hurting that you're hearing these things happen and they just wash down the way. Nothing come out of it. For instance, we're hearing about ministers involved in loan, which they were not supposed to get based on the agreement and the conditions of the loan. We don't hear nothing again. We just wash down the road. All those things just wash down the road. Now we're hearing that government intend to pay people that bought passport, right? And the government take over all the debt of the citizen. I can't remember the name code.
By investment.
Yes, take over all the debts of this new hotel or this hotel that was building. Who is really speaking on behalf of the people? They heard the Prime Minister. I heard the Prime Minister with my ears said that he understands that it's 2 or 3 people in Carriacou that was fired. And if they don't like it, they could take recourse. They could go to the court.
You know, you just say a lot of things why it's not true.
Word. As far as I'm concerned, that's a dirty word.
You know, you just say things why it's not true.
Right, but I'm saying that's a dirty word to come from a Prime Minister. A Prime Minister is supposed to look out for all the citizens of the country. And if 3 persons were sent home and you tell them, take the court, go to court, I think it's a gross insult to people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm saying that all these things are happening. Where is what kind of thing? The unions talk about it and they leave it on the ground. Bam, they forget it. The opposition party, NMP, talk about it, they leave it on the ground. Bam, you go. What is going to happen if we continue doing wrong or we continue hearing things so wrong and nothing could be done to stop it or to inquire into them and come out with the findings and not do like what happened in the marketing board? When you get the findings, use the disciplinary method. Use it. We just hearing things happen. You move that person from thing. I remember I said that to you Brother Carl, when I know of officers that wrote that filed case when they were not promoted. But now we hearing, officers saying, officers don't move up, officers don't move the way they have to be, and nothing coming out of them. Something have to be wrong. To me, there is not a proper avenue to vent that, more than we just talk about it and we let it go. There should be some organization set up that can speak on behalf of the people and get down to the bottom of these things on them. And I'm not satisfied with that. Totally. The opposition party have to wake up on that. The boards that are put there, like the what you call them again, the integrity committee, the public service commission, I think they have to get in and speak out when those things happen. And I'm totally not satisfied with it.
Clifford,
and I think everybody should wake up.
Clifford.
Yes, sir.
Who appoints the chairperson of the integrity commission?
I cannot say directly that I know who appointed, but it has to come to government. It have to come to government.
No.
But the Prime Minister, when Dr. Michel was there, when Mr. Man was appointed as chairman, manager of the marketing board, I remember the Prime Minister said that he did not appoint the man. It was recommended by what and what not.
And we're not talking about marketing. We're talking about integrity commission.
I went to a conference where Mr. Edwards gave a whole synopsis of the way the marketing board forward way for the marketing board. And I'm telling you, if I had the lands and money, I could have put any amount of money to go and start to plant immediately, because the man was so good on paper that he gave farmers who were there the impression that in the morning things will be bright with the marketing board. What we hear after that is that the marketing board had to close down, money missing, and all kind of nonsense.
All right,
that's what we heard after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the integrity commission could, based on hearing complaints, a private person could go to the marketing board and make a complaint. You understand it, Igwe?
Mm-hmm.
And the marketing board and the integrity commission, the investigation that Clifford talking about, nobody didn't go and report MNIB. The integrity commission thought they were hearing so many complaints that they should look into it. Now with this new constituted integrity commission, I wait to see the actions. Because I think the churches have a representative on it.
Yes, possible.
The opposition might have a representative. Government have.
Government. And I think the Governor General is the one that appoints the head.
Alright.
Yeah.
But you know most of the appointment with the Governor General is on recommendation or on advice of.
Yes.
Now, in a democracy, the Integrity Commission is an important thing. Now, I've sought and received the Integrity Commission Act. And I intend to peruse it and speak on it. Because Section 47, as it deals with gifts, Devon. Gifts for public officers. And my view is once you been paid by government and you work on and for the behalf of government, you is a public officer. And receiving of gifts. Because we heard stories about Livera development and gold-plated shovels. All these things ought to be reported to the Integrity Commission.
Yeah.
And one could ask the Integrity Commission if that happened. Because it's not a committee to dissuade people, or it should be open.
It should be. I don't know for sure, but I think that the public or an individual, for example, like me, can go in or make an appointment to see the Integrity Committee and launch a complaint, either in person or through a lawyer.
Yeah.
I think that should be available. If it's not, because there are a lot of issues out there that we just leave it unchecked. We speak about it, and so it affects us, it affects the country, and yet we do nothing about it. and it's about time that action. But again, you have a government that's in office who cares nothing about the less fortunate, those who need the assistance, because everything that this government does, it comes right back and affect the poor and vulnerable persons, the persons that they
on the lower socioeconomic.
Yes, and they call them, they say poverty, the needy and greedy. But if they're needy and greedy, why take from them? Why take from them and enrich yourself? You give yourself $2,000 every month extra. You understand? And you take away $150 from the persons who need it. It doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't make any sense. And I cannot see how Grenadians on a whole could defend such a crap. Some of you in the NDC, when you listen to you all talk, defending something like that, a lot of you have families who have been affected, But yet for all, you're still talking about, the government, he wasn't allocated for. Yes, he wasn't allocated for. That's what a supplementary bill is there for. By the stroke of a pen, you can make it right. But then we realize anytime it comes to the poor people, less attention is being paid. There's always an excuse. Right? Why they cannot do that for the majority of Grenadians. It's deplorable,
Then one is strange. You see, my thing is simply this. You support a political party which is your right so to do. But if, in my view, for me, if the political party that are supporting doing stupid I don't support stupid.
You have to talk about it.
I don't support it.
Yes.
But they defending every action and they fully well know the thing no right. Mm-hmm. All right, the CBI thing, Section 11. You want to do with investors and investment. The CBI agent is the one that in contact with the investor. And you find the fees for the agent is not defined as how much you agree to with the people. Most of the passports sell under Section 11. So somebody making a lot of money.
Yeah, because...
So that's not the interest of the country. Then the State Department and others tell you about the Russians. 90-something% of passports sold is Russian. Then you have this Kawana Bay thing. And bearing in mind, the Prime Minister would have said to us that when you see strange decisions have been made, find out who support the rally and the big fest. So we asking. Because when you see things like the Kawana Bay settlement, and who have to get back monies. The question is how much money the new field invest. Mm-hmm. That big question because you hear how much you have to get. And the passport holders, why would you refund them?
And let them hold
and let them keep the passport. That way.
It's a bit puzzling.
And we not, because you see, due diligence and orders, and we can't trust this present administration.
That's when I fever
The same man or they gain back the 20 mil or 22 million, he could come under order entity and reinvest in the same place. Because he don't get paid already.
He don't get paid. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He can group up with a number of the persons who will get paid.
And just do use the name.
Look, and we have to remember too, who were the lawyers or lawyer representing these guys. You understand? Follow the money and you will see it. But I mean, for the life of me, I cannot understand that arbitration is ongoing before a world body, right? In which the person, the investor, took the Grenadian government to the arbitration. No, based on information that we have, right? The reasons why these people took the government to arbitration because they were not allowed to take more than they ought to invest, right? They were reinvesting monies allocated for Kawana Bay to, right, other companies outside of Grenada. Mm-hmm. It was questionable, so the government had to start questioning and ensuring that everything goes right. They didn't like that. So they take the government to court, basically. What did this present government do? They just basically go in and squash the whole case and say, Lord, look, I will just absorb all the expensive, take over the property, buy it over for what it's worth, and the government cannot determine the value, right, of that property. They are not the ones to do that. So sometimes they're thinking it's 40 or 50 million,
it could be
and it could be
150.
$200 million. And who will foot that bill? The Grenadian people.
Pocket.
The Grenadian people who will have to fit that bill. I mean, it's Mr. Duncan, I think you need in another press conference or another interview to explain more, because you are the lead person when it comes to the citizen by investment. You are the one basically right under the Prime Minister. You understand?
But
who give directives.
The big question here is, Devon, is the Honorable Deacon Mitchell or any of his associates stand to receive any money as a result of the deal with K1AB?
Well, we will dig. We will dig and we will find out. You know, and as you talk about that, I remember one time the Prime Minister said that himself and Mr. Cornwall, when matters, right, of CBI comes up,
they recuse themselves.
They recuse themselves. Now I'm asking, why are you recusing yourself? When you know as a government minister you're not supposed to be part of all these shenanigans. So explain to the Grenadian people, why are you recusing yourself from a discussion when it comes to CBI? In my view, right, you have some interest in these particular issues that you don't want us to know about. You understand? So it's very interesting of the answers, and so that the government continue to give its people, and so very misleading, and so we just take it with a grain of salt, and it's not. And at the same time, I mean, the government the country is being plunged more and more and more into debt. These guys don't care.
Why is Daisy under a local CBI agent? What position does she have in K1AB? Is she the vice president or something like that? Is she on the CBI board? You see the kind of thing that's going on?
That is questionable.
And somebody says to me that Grenada is a small place, so we expect conflict of interest, but how you manage it. Any name you call corruption is corruption?
Yeah,
by any name.
By any name, it doesn't matter.
You call it white collar crime, you call it embezzlement, anyhow you call it. By any name.
By any name. See, and as Grenadians, we have to be a bit more conscious. We have to be a bit more aware of our surroundings.
Good afternoon, caller.
Hey, good afternoon.
Aye. Good afternoon, my friend.
Hey, Devon, Master Carrick, and Igwe. If we look good, Devon, at how these people acting, they're acting with a sort of authority where you call just come power. We just reach and we acting in a manner like we have the ultimate power. You know, if it was a year or 2 years before election, these guys would not have tried things like that. But these guys realize that we are away, a little away in distance for election.
And this you have to do it all for people to buy in.
Yes.
Buy into it.
But let me say this. The Grenadian people would never buy into this as a good thing. They will always remember it as an evil. Because the more we study it, the more we look for the clarity, is more we find something is fishy coming down the line. How could you, after somebody buys something for you based on an agreement, you're giving them back their money, but they are not returning back your stuff. They are not returning back your passport. The real thing about this thing is because these people need the passport. So that is why they invested. And now you are giving them back their investment money. The government of Grenada is not really wrong, but the government of Grenada is returning the So why these people cannot return our passport? Or why the passport cannot be demanded back? We wondering, well, what happened to Grenada? And I asked that the other day, how come we coming so vile? How come things in Grenada becoming so vulgar? We're doing it in a real vulgar way, but we're doing it very early. So while the people, we still have the support of the people, we're doing it under that kind of umbrella. But believe me, it's rotten and it's making whole. And just now people will feel the drops of that kind of rain on their back. What is going on there? It's so much go put Grenada in a kind of way in the future. Maybe this Grenada will be described in the next 3 years to come as one of the most corrupt countries in the Caribbean.
We don't love again.
The worst corrupt country in the Caribbean. Because writers want to use that as an example and put it over there and tell them, look what's going on in Grenada and look what the Grenadian government do. The investors take us and make us a football. And we have one of the best of minds when it comes for investment, economics, running this thing. It's not dunce people we are running this thing. We have people who are supposed to be professional people, people with years of accumulated experience that is running this thing. And look how this thing is being taken care like a football. And I believe the people who is running these things think we, the Grenadian people, dunce. So they give us dunce answers and short answers because they believe we are not bright enough to understand what's going on. So when we ask them pertinent questions, they kind of shock, and it makes them give answers that is kind of short without proper explanation and these kind of things. Because the Grenadian people are not done. We are one of the most brilliant people in the Caribbean. People that ask one of the best set of questions in the Caribbean. So I don't understand how these people could practice this thing in the open, in the dark practicing this thing. They are doing it in open eyes. And we're not hearing none of the unions, the NGOs group, who was there, where the Maitland boy, where the Friends of the Earth, where the people who was scrutinizing Grenada economy and all this kind of thing, and watching Grenada. We're not even hearing one of them saying nothing to the government. They're not saying, look, this thing is fishy, this thing is looking right. The brilliance of mining, who say they are brilliance of mining in Grenada, they are not saying nothing. It's only really and truly is the NNP that's standing up right now and things. I hear somebody talk about the opposition. Let me say this. The opposition is fighting back, and the opposition is talking, and the opposition is doing a lot. Because if you see, the people who are speaking are the opposition forces, the opposition in parliament, and the people who support the opposition. These are the people you're getting speaking up. So the people who are saying that the opposition is not working, they're making a mistake. The opposition is at it. But what we're not getting is the other groups, like the NGOs, the unions, and them speaking out, even though they know it's wrong, privately. When they meet you, they're telling you this thing is nonsense, this thing is evil. But you're not hearing them calling a press conference or coming together and condemn the evil. We are saying to them and to us Grenadians, we are going to be described in the next 3 years or 2 years as one of the most corrupt countries in the Caribbean if we continue going down that footing. Thank you, Master.
All right, Colin. You know, I always wonder, that with these group of politicians in office, how many more Grenadians will have to die or suffer because of their incompetence? How many more? We are seeing the signs on the wall. Look at gas price skyrocketing. Look at the price of sugar. Well, look at the price of commodities in the shop, period. Almost every time you go into the supermarket, an item that you regularly buy is not the same price. Trust me, try it for yourself. Right? I mean, I cannot understand what is going on. Where do they expect the poor people of this country to find these monies to buy food to eat when you have a government who is not providing jobs, not providing the avenues? One of the things I see going on right now with this government, and I think that's where a lot of the money is going. If you notice, a lot of persons get involved in training this group of person and training that group of person and everything like that. And that is where a lot of government money is going, right? Their own people, they're utilizing that for them to eat a food, right? But look, look at the majority of our people. We cannot continue, right, to let them treat us like that. We all are citizens of this country and we all should be treated fair. I cannot understand, we sit. How can we, some of us, sleep at night, right, when we know of our brother and sister who do not have something to go to bed? How can we sit and watch, for example, the Prime Minister living in a luxury place, paying over $20,000 a month, and yet for all, it is difficult to put some extra money on the persons who need it, the persons who do not have, right? The school children who needed to go to school to have a hot meal, but yet for all, you defending $20,000 per month for one man to stay, when there is a house that is allocated for the Prime Minister. I mean, come on, it's deplorable. I don't know where. How are we thinking as a people? Right? We continue letting them get away with everything, and then we say, well, they are in power. They are in power. So, I guess, Master Carl?
We have something on.
Raise the issue of contract work and how unfair contract work is, whether it's taking place in the public sector or the private sector, and the need to regularize as much as we can contract workers. But let's be straight. We're going to be straight with the nation. Contract work and pension reform must go together, because we commit to pay the retroactive pension, and we are doing so. We understand the import of the ruling of the court, but so as not to do severe damage, perhaps even irreparable damage to our economy in the long run, we must work out a pension plan going forward that's sustainable. Because as it stands now, when people retire, they are entitled to NIS, that's public servants they are entitled to NIS plus government pension. And government pension is a non-contributory pension, which means the government alone pays everything into the pension fund, plus under the NIS law, the government pays 6% into the NIS, into the National Insurance Fund. So, going forward, that will be a really hefty sum that the IMF and everybody else have already warned is not sustainable going forward as it is. Plus, if we regularize contract workers across the board without at the same time treating with pension reform, what do? We bloat the public service, we expand the public service, and in so doing, the amount of people who would be eligible for pension. So we call on our friends in the labor movement to sit with us and work out an acceptable mode going forward, where everyone will be happy, where we will not leave an unbearable financial burden for those who come after us, and where those who retire going forward.
The Attorney General. Now, I believe the Attorney General is the one amongst them who does tell it like it is. Two things from what she just said. One, it shows that all they were saying and promising when they got into government, she realized them things ain't can happen. And she made two profound statements there. One, irreparable damage. You hear that? You hear that one? You hear the word irreparable damage? And you heard about financial problems. And that the two things are facing this present administration. So what they do, they look for a lot of distractions. So they're using the RGPF to distract the nation from the K1 Bay issue. So all this whole thing about suspect with John T and news conference and them, you call that shining mirrors. That distraction to take people's minds off the issue. The run-rated event, because you hear when you ask Vani Cohen, he say he had no information.
How could they?
Oh, you could do have information.
I don't know. That what he say all of all hear it? I don't making that up on him.
That doesn't make any sense.
When I think Linda or them asking me say that. And the same John T. Casey have a lot of things they trying to
hide.
The fake. So it's like a sham.
That the John T. the whole issue.
And because check the incompetence of these people. The Prime Minister out of state, they ought to know that the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Mr. Dennis Matthew Connell, is out of state, but you see some document come out where he's acting. And soon after that, without even doing the process of repealing and replacing, you see another document come with Andy acting.
So we have
institutional knowledge and know-how.
Two acting Prime Minister.
Because they don't take in counsel. Yeah, good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Evening.
Hey, you are go.
All right, sir, gentlemen. Good evening to you all.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Carl, I was hoping to hear you say two other things besides the misconstrued idea of a man acting as Prime Minister. But anyhow, and two names called before they even swearing came out. You're going to know that after. I heard a good friend of mine speaking just now there about the NGOs and the union and thing. And you know, it is baffling. It is real baffling to know that when the previous administration was in office, you would have heard the union with non-protocols not reverting to strike action even before go slow, and red and ban, and late comings in school. We're talking about go slow prior to strike. So the protocol in the past was never met. And therefore, it teaches us a lot of lessons. How well are we equipped? When NDC is in office, but when NNP is in office, they are really equipped to fight the cause of workers and demotion of workers and fired workers and unlawful payment to teachers. They was able to fight the cause for them. No, I haven't heard Mr. Senator of Labour in the Senate. I haven't heard him in a long time. I wonder if he exists or they pay him to hush his mouth. But that's not the issue now. The issue is, gentlemen, somebody had to take a fall for John T's death because he sparked international news until internationally they offer 100,000 US for anybody leading up to the death of Junties. Now, in the past, you never hear little Ariel. You never hear the lady that some misconstrued death who hung themselves and how they died and what caused them to do that. You never hear anybody offer anything to people for the death of these ones who died. Even the young man in Egmont, even Mr. Chance, you don't hear all that. But you hear it's back internationally, the news, and the Prime Minister should be back in the state today. He left on Thursday. So they must have addressed you with Junties' death in order to bring a face. I overhearing that little bit of information that the guy walk into the CID and say that he
no, let me don't go down there. Let me don't go down there. Let me don't go down there. Let me don't prejudice nothing. Let me don't go down there. I could have said all that time, but I don't say it because everybody deserves a fair trial. Let me don't go down there and spread rumors and.
Well, I don't.
No, let me don't go down the road.
I ain't going nowhere, brother. I'm just saying it.
I can't let him go on because that's problem. Sorry.
And that the same thing I speak at length on. There will come a trial.
Things exposing to
and you don't want people to say the man can get a fair trial.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, we are a law-abiding place. And you see, my thing is not gloating when these things happen because the government in power is not the one supporting or speaking on the issue of right and wrong, black and white. So I'm not happy that these things happening. I'm not happy that all this information is out in the public domain, and I would not come on a public forum like that and speak of those information.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we should allow people to do same.
Yeah, but watch how easy he got that info.
Yeah, you don't allow it to do same.
That's what we're talking about.
Now, a lot of people talking about every person or every program that is on radio, I don't believe should be sung like the same. So our programming have its own parameters and so on.
Yeah, your own juice.
So we stick to facts. We program is not a gossip program. Mm-hmm. So we don't allow any gossip thing on the program. We don't do it. Yes, let's take the call.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Master Carl.
Hey, you go.
Hi there. Devon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And Igri.
Afternoon.
Master Carl.
Hey.
What I'm going to speak on there, it was out in the public domain. That is in relation to the press conference the RGPF held.
Which one?
The one as it relates to having somebody in custody.
Okay.
Right. You are a former prosecutor. I just wanted to clarify that for me, please, because I'm a bit baffled. We're talking about solved cases, because in the press conference we heard that the case has been solved. A case solved. To have that case solved, let me put it that way, to have that case solved, there must be an arrest. The matter must go to court.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, but there are some cases you could have an arrest and investigation could continue.
Right. But we're talking about solve. Because it is said the matter has been solved. That's what I'm looking at, solved.
Yeah, go on.
So the matter could be solved out of court, or it have to be solved in the court?
Well, once you have enough evidence, as soon as the judges will tell you, as soon as you have enough, you shall caution that person or cause them to be cautioned before you put to any other questions to them. But if you reasonably suspect that that person could be a person of interest, that level of solving. The police is there to gather whatsoever evidence and bring it in the court. You know the symbol of justice supposed to be a virgin with she eye tie, and she have a skill at anything way heavier. That is it. The police is not concerned about what the court does, but to gather information. And information is not evidence until it is proven. So solving, in my experience, kind of stretching it.
Right. That is what I wanted to clarify, because there are a lot of people out there who are confused now as to the matter being solved. A matter is solved either in or out of court.
But they say the matter in Carrick could be solved too, or the man on the run?
Which one that?
You hear that mother in Carrick when they say the man on the run? One of the press conferences there, and they say he solved too.
And the matter is solved?
So maybe there are a new maxim,
But maybe
there is some new jurisprudence.
Maybe that's a new version. Thank you very much.
Right.
Okay.
One of the before you go there, I just want to say, I want people to understand I'm not the repository of every knowledge. Yes, go on there, man.
Now, I was in reference to John T's scenario, the case. I personally still am concerned about two things, two reports. The autopsy, all right? There were two autopsy given, and I'm not convinced, all right, or even satisfied with just the two autopsies, because both of them, they show difference of death. Okay. And in my view, I'm not no lawyer, but in my view...
Both of them are reported to show difference.
Well, yeah, they show difference. That's what
they are reported to show difference.
The police made that's it. But anyhow, I'm with my limited knowledge, and so it's something to be questioned, because you have one saying yes, one saying no, or one saying this happened here, the other one. How would that go in court with a lawyer who's defending, for example, the defendant, anyone who defend, they will question something like that, all right? And I'm wondering how the court, all right, or how the prosecution would handle something like that.
Let me tell you about forensic evidence. This evidence is given by experts. And experts are entitled in court to give their opinion based on the finding. Don't forget that part. Experts are entitled to give their opinion based on the findings. Unlike me and you, who is a witness, and we can't give you opinion, we could only say what we see. So it's a different treatment of evidence coming from these people. And to refute an expert, you have to have another expert of higher or better degree to dispute an expert.
So how would it?
And there are situations in Grenada already where one give and the other one give something different, and the court consider the other one. So that happened here already.
Oh, that's strange. I'm wondering if that's just the correct thing to do. But again, it's the law, and we have to be mindful of what will happen.
That is why I spend that length of time talking about information in the public domain, because it would prejudice person's mind. So them kind of thinking about I'm going wrong now. Let the court decide that.
Yeah,
let the court decide. I'm not the repository of that kind of thing. However, expert evidence, an expert could give you opinion based on the finding. That can happen to ordinary mortal like me. It's like the laity and the clergy. The clergy drink the wine, the laity the host. That happening long.
But is it correct?
I don't know. Why laity doesn't get no wine? They get a thing on the tongue.
It's not correct, but is that fair?
I don't know.
There's so many unanswered questions. But in our country today, there are so many unanswered questions. We have a government who refuses to even answer the basic things, and they leave us, in doubt, or even to some of us speculate, And that is what happens when information is not forthcoming.
By his deeds shall a man be known. The mantra of the National Democratic Congress in the last election, Devon, was "and is that." What does that mean?
Take
it or leave it.
Yeah, irrespective to what is that.
So them and them don't care, and even if in their mind it tells them one term we go make, they go just apply the Pandey advice, do them before they do us. Pandey so tell them by do them before they do all you. So right now this government doing the people before the people do them. Because they know what the people go do them in the ballot box. So let we do them now. You recall?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take the con.
Good afternoon.
There's a difference between information and evidence, right? Mr. Carl?
Go on, shoot.
I said there's a difference between evidence and information.
Yeah.
And, yes? So you had one forensic expert saying that a gentleman, Janti, died from drowning. And then...
That was reported.
What?
It was reported. We don't know. You see,
Listen,
you have a lot of things
listen, man. This is what they inform the public with.
That was reported.
That is the information coming to the public from the police.
That was reported.
Who reported that?
Whoever the police or any person.
Well, right, is the police you're talking about. The information.
I don't argue any
to
that.
the public.
Make your point.
And this is what we go with. We can't just come and dispute what the police says. However, the family or whosoever would have disputed what the police said, and they got another forensic expert to check it out. And we saw that the information that the other expert gave seemed to be correct, and the courts go with that. The police go with that. The second information that came out, that the gentleman was strangled. And we were able to show by evidence that the gentleman was strangled. So no more has he died from drowning. He died from strangling. This is not just information now. This is evidence, because it was proven
Evidence
by the...
no, man. Evidence is the only thing in court, man. Anything outside
What's
court
wrong
is
with
not
you,
evidence, man.
You know better than that. You know better than that. This is what the evidence is what the director of prosecution brings to the court, and the jurors examine after being brought by the prosecutor. The information is being examined and accepted as that. It's not just somebody coming and say something. No, we're giving information. We're not giving information. No, we're giving evidence. And so the government, GIS, would have given information. We must know the difference between information and evidence. They didn't give that as information, as evidence, so to speak, because what they're trying to do is to tie up the case. I believe that they've been trying to tie up the case.
You have
so
proof
that
of
by
that?
the time it reaches to courts, it's not evidence anymore. It's not evidence anymore when they bring it in the courts. So they're tying it up outside here. So when they reach to the courts now, the lawyer, whosoever, is able to just throw it out because, and you know that. So this is what is happening here.
What is God Junior to tell me, you know?
Because of the work that you did before, you must know.
You give me too much credence, we?
Because of the work you did
You
before.
giving me too much credence, I tell you.
You must know. So that what we do now, what we're doing now, let me tell you what we're doing now. We are so afraid of our Prime Minister, because he's such a great lawyer, that we are afraid to challenge him. We are afraid to challenge our Prime Minister because he's that great lawyer.
Your opinion?
Boy. So you don't see evidence of that?
So, in the John T case, what correlation does it have to the Prime Minister? to make people afraid, the Prime Minister, in relation, we're talking about the John T case. What correlation does that case have to the Prime Minister to make people afraid the Prime Minister, as you say?
I wasn't referring to relationship between John T.
Okay.
and the Prime Minister here.
Okay, I hear you.
All right, I made a statement
You're
here.
generalizing.
Yes, because I've noticed and I've been hearing people saying, "Oh, he's that great lawyer." In other words, maybe that boy Donald Trump might soon be asking him to come up and to defend him.
He who allege must prove. Never forget that, eh?
Okay, so maybe I stop here because the fact is that I noticed what's happening here. They're trying to tie up the case with John T. and they bring and they say that they have solved the case, and we know, like you say, the case cannot be solved until evidences has been brought out, and it must be brought out to the courts, not by the police, but by the prosecutor.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
I have a next call on the WhatsApp, Igwe.
Let me take it on time.
Hello.
Igwe.
Hey.
Bakal and Devon Romain. Mr. Romain.
Yes, my dear.
The principal.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, how are you doing in the studio there? Are you lighting fire under the cold Batman? Fire light under the cold pot called Grenada here, man. I have never heard so much bacchanal in my life under government. Bacchanal for so.
Comments.
Never a dull moment in the sweet Grenada for then.
So what's the vibes
All
now?
kind of information leaking here, leaking there, all kind of comments. There seems to be so much chaos. Y'all there?
Oh, you call them, you don't making a contribution?
That was it?
Yes, I said yes.
Comments in the place. Chaos in the place.
So he turn young and restless then.
Oh, bold and beautiful.
Yeah, man, too much chaos. In the how much elections NNP win and in the all the years NNP win election I never hear corruption. In 1 year and 4 months he have more corruption now than he had in all the years.
You have more in 1 year you have more corruption than NNP had in 40 years.
Well, let me tell you something. Keith Mitchell there, how much years in Parliament? Only the briefcase and whatever else they put behind the name. You ever hear corruption so much?
All right, I have more callers coming in, Sydney.
All right, take care.
All right, I'll take this next one on the WhatsApp one. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's up, Mr. Devon?
Yes, boss. Good afternoon.
We have a situation in Court Road, which have a only who can't even help us. The people go and give her the interview.
You're breaking up. Let me hear.
I hear you.
Yeah, you kind of breaking up. Start again.
Yeah. You have a situation where?
With a woman that they take up she name on the program with the 150 program. They take out her name.
How long ago was that?
And they say that she can't receive no money no more. But the woman is a retired woman, can't help herself. She has one daughter working. Her income is very low. She used to collect her money to the bank. So they tell her name that day, so she can't receive no money no more. But I find that was an advantage because she has one daughter working. They realize they remove her name. Another problem they have, they find the machine, they find the part for the machine in the fish market. But then, I don't know why reason they would not put it up for the people to get the ice when you look at the situation of the fishermen selling fish without ice, check the guys by the road. It's unhealthy to be selling fish without ice. You have fish whole day in that weather with less ice to keep the fish cool. Like the Ministry of Health, they don't even come to the market. They don't even find out what's going on. They let the guys go and spend some money to get the white apron, white boots, ID card to sell fish, and that was just a talk. They don't even pass back and find out what's going on with these people.
That was like a
No,
prank.
the fish vendors are angry, but they're just not talking. Because, most of them is supporters of the government, so they're not talking. But they're talking to people on the outside could say something on their behalf. They're under real pressure. And even the vendors who bind the lives to help themselves, the daily livelihood, under real pressure. So I don't know why, the government putting poor people under so much pressure. They especially Mr. Andrew and Toes, they are the people who they were there for the fishermen, They told the fishermen, we will be there for all you. We'll help all you in all necessary means. We'll help. But no, you're not even seeing Mr. Toes. You don't even coming around to find out what is the situation with the fishermen. But the fishermen now, they don't want to talk. Because most of them from Subies and they was being supported by him and know that. Another talk, the man who call in and run, Mr. Devon, how to get a man a visit? He's a showmaker by the Anglican school. That the man who does call and can stand up to his point where he's making. We under a lot of pressure in this place and we need better representation. We're not getting representation from these people, And some of the supporters, they have so much confidence in that man. He's the best. I don't see in where he's the best. Mr. Devon, we need people to look at our situation in this country, especially in St. Andrews. I think St. Andrews is the parish are going through the most pressure under this government. Because what they realize in St. Andrews, NMP support the past administration the most. So the pressure on these people in St. Andrews the most. So we want better representation. We have much ministers, and we're not seeing them. Mr. Andrew, we're not seeing you. Mr. Toos, we're not seeing you. We don't know where you're going. And so much of confusion in his offices, under his watch. So much of problems with the workers. They're doing what they want. They find who they want. I don't say that because I have good information that the man who running Mr. To's ministry, he's just a worker. He doing what he want to do, not what the minister want him to do. And we need better representation. Mr. To's need to come on top of things. These little people and them underneath him, I don't know why he have them underneath him because he figure out if he come on top of things, he will lose support. But no, you as a minister, you have to do what is right. And when the time come around, you'll get better representation. But right now, you're losing representation because you're not on top of things. You understand?
I think the minister...
Be on top of things. Do what you have to do.
The minister already know that he have an incompetent staff around him, Perhaps he just sitting down and just buying his time.
He have a loose staff. The staff on them is loose. And this is the reason why one of the staff went to the Prime Minister. That's why he came to St. Andrews, because one of the workers went down to the Prime Minister's office. This is what I know. And tell him, look, come to St. Andrews and try to put things in place. That's why he came up here to put things in place.
Come up and straighten them out.
I'm not guessing that. This is what I know. And that person, we are very good. And we just chat. And they told me what is going on. Too much wrong things is going on in these offices and them. These people are doing what they want. They're giving who they want. They're giving their friends. They're giving their family. The guy have all the family working. All the family is working. And the poor people now, who have to get a little job, ain't getting nothing. One thing again, the people who depending on the little road work, these are the people who spend money every day. The people who spend once a month, them who is inheriting everything in this country. How you want your economy to grow? Eh? When all these people have been suffering, they can't even buy a daily meal. Look at the vendors. The vendors are crying. You have one of the water by Anders. She boasts this government so much, and right now you can hardly see her. She hiding. You know why she hiding? She can't pay back the people. She take goods from them and she can't pay them back. Because the goods are spoiled and she has to throw them out. You understand what's going on? So fellas, have a good pleasant day.
All right, my brother. You know, well, anytime, and we know, most of us know that. Anytime the National Democratic Congress is in office, if they do not target the proletariat, as Mr. Pierce say, or the most vulnerable in our country, they can't survive. They can't surface. They have to find something to do, right, to basically intimidate or to destroy the lower class persons. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Principal, Master Carl Igwe. Question to you, I want to direct this question to Master Carl. Can information be converted to evidence in any court?
Evidence is simply this, a body of facts or information indicating whether a belief or proposition is true and valid. Unless it is not proven to be true or valid, it is not evidence. It remains information.
Okay, let me ask you. In the case of an inquest, a coroner of inquest, okay, if somebody should die as a result of a vehicular accident, and you have a coroner of inquest, the coroner will treat what persons who saw or give information to the coroner, that is being treated as information.
Yes.
Right?
But when it is proven to be valid or true, it becomes evidence.
After the deliberation of the coroner into the inquiry, and the fact has been proven that somebody is responsible. Okay, somebody died as a result of an accident. So if the coroner and the jurors prove that that person died as a result of an accident, then someone is responsible for the accident.
Yes, somebody is liable, somebody is accountable.
Right, and the information now given to the coroner becomes evidence when the person is being charged. Is that correct?
Yeah, because then you see, you realize, you come to the conclusion that they are valid or true.
Right. So information.
That's why you have the evidential test and the evidential burden.
Yeah, but what I'm saying here now, that at some point in time in jurisdiction, information could be evidence.
Well, information leads to evidence. Not all information goes to evidence.
But I'm only
because when the police investigating, they gather information.
And at what time it become evidence?
When it is proven to be a fact or valid. Because anybody could say anything. That's why you have corroboration and all them kind of thing. Anybody could say anything, but unless it is not proven to be valid or true, it's just information. It remains.
It remains information. But if the information you give become true, it become evidence. If the same information you give is valid, it become evidence. Information is evidence.
Because even the example you give out the coroner's inquest. You know, in a coroner's inquest, you have a jury. A jury is empaneled in a coroner's inquest.
I know. That's why I can speak on it.
And what the judge is the facts. The same thing you come down to. Not old talk. Facts.
Yes. Okay. For instance, in concluding in a coroner of inquest, if the jurors return that the person was killed by an accident, then someone is responsible for the accident.
if they return that it is a misadventure, then no one is charged. And the information given to the coroner, if he return with an accident, that information becomes evidence, and that is being dealt with in the court of law when the person is charged. So the information is evidence at some point in time. Thank you.
All right, boss.
Hello.
Hello, good night. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Master Call.
Here you go.
Ade and Devon.
Yes, my dear. Good afternoon.
Yes. These houses and them in Subies here, right? They're talking about the houses and them. They want to put out people from these houses, and if they don't come to them, you know, they will put them out or thing. This, you have so much of people up here, more children than big people. So I don't know what they're talking about when they put on them, where they putting them. Eh? When they putting them, they want to put on them train on the street too.
They don't
and
care.
the majority of them, people up here vote for them. Eh? The majority of them vote for them. Well, I want to see what they will do when they don't get and they put out so much of people from the work. So much. What they go pay for it? What they go take and pay?
All right, caller.
Right.
As my good friends say, call and ventilate.
Blow the fuse.
You don't nothing there again?
You see?
Yeah, man.
Let me take it.
My phone hot right now until 4 o'clock.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Afternoon. I wanted to say something surrounding the same thing that the lady spoke about just now. The issue with the folks in Subies. Now, the people were removed from Subies for specific reasons. Those people that were living in Subies, they were removed from there and placed in the houses on top of the hill as to protect them in case there's a tsunami. And that's the reason why the Chinese put the houses on top of the hill there, as to minimize the effect of a tsunami should we get one in the area. Correct, right?
Correct.
I see Devon shake his head. Yes, I'm correct. So, and the other thing is that we wanted to clean up the area. Yes? We wanted to clean up Subi's area and make it look good. What you did instead, you clean up Lagoon Road and you're touching up Subi's. What kind of thing you getting away with, man? You clean up Lagoon Road, you're planting flowers and all kind of thing. And in Subi's, you're putting all kind of old shack in Subi's again?
We want the MIT minister to come up.
Nah. It is so ridiculous and sickening. When you pass through Subi's now, and the amount of shacks that been placed there. And like the lady said just now, we'll be removing those folks that we removed early on and placed up the hill. We'll be removing them, apparently removing them from up the hill again. And they have to go back and see where they could get a jam up on the side of the bay again. Is this what you're going to do?
They know how to run country.
No, somebody said they can't see toes. They can't see toes. And the truth is that we really can't see toes in truth. Because, to bend down to look for your toe is a kind of hard thing sometimes.
But if you're not wearing slippers, you didn't see your toes, and if you're barefoot and you
yeah, so we're looking for toes, right? So when he was campaigning and he came around and speaking about all that they will be doing in the area, and he asked me to vote for him, and I said, no, I can't do that. Why not? I said, because you're lying. You know you're lying. He said, oh, you mean you're lying? I said, you know you're lying. You cannot put up 500 houses a year in the parish. I said, you know that. And what else? I say, you know that the factories you're speaking about, you will not be able to put up the factories because we haven't got enough fruits to run the factories on the island. We haven't got enough fruits to run those factories. And he said to me, it's not those big factories we're talking about. We're talking about those small factories like cottage industries. I said, but you tell the people you're going to build factories so everybody going to get work.
The intention is to deceive.
The intention was to deceive. And so they're looking for Mr. Toes now. He forget what he said. And if you're going to ask him now, he cannot.
He wearing shoes now, so.
He wears shoes now. So I'm concerned about those shacks that you're putting up on the shoreline right now. I think it's unfair to us in St. Andrew, and especially in Sobeys, because the people are comfortable enough there, and we got them to cooperate and remove themselves from the shoreline and to go up the hill. And now the lady said whether it's true or not, that's what the facts and the evidence will come in now. I'm not sure if it's true, but if you're going to take the keys from them and to determine who should and who shouldn't go there now, I think you better start climbing. I think you better start climbing another tree. Somebody mightn't like that at all, and they might want to,
Well, if pig get heat, pig get heat.
So it go.
Some pig get heat.
Yeah, so it go.
If you pelt in a pig pen, you wanna get heat with a ball.
Yeah, it's true. But the fact is that we need to be conscious. I
don't call nobody pig, I draw illustration. If you pelt in a pig's pen, you wanna get heat with a ball.
So we need to be conscious. We need to be conscious as to what is going on around us.
Yeah, we have to know what's going on in our immediate surrounding. We must know.
Yes. So let us try to do our best, and if possible,
and we will continue to bring the information to the people.
Yeah. Ask Mr. Toes what his intention, what his real intentions are pertaining to the shoreline in Sobeys. Is he going to brighten it up, or he just start in messing it up again? Thank you.
You know what you're talking about it?
Yeah. An interesting thing though about the housing and so that persons occupy. The government wants to rush and come down on persons, vulnerable persons, and so for monies owed and everything. But have the government? Well, I shouldn't say have. I know the minister said that some of these units in these buildings, they need a lot of repairs. He talk about railing, he talk about walls, he talk about everything. My God, the simplest and best thing to do is to go ahead, refurbish, fix these outlets for persons, right? And then continue to encourage them to meet their payments. And as I said before, give them an amnesty. Give it to them. They deserve it. They are the most vulnerable of our people. Right? So don't stop playing games with all this thing. You know the place needs repair. What you want to do? You want to wait another 5-10 years when you may collect $2 million from them and then start to repair? Come on, you people need to get your act together. Nonsense. And from a NAGMA point of view, though, the whole question of persons continue to occupying, right? Sobeys, that Sobeys area there to the sea. It's an illegal thing that they are doing. Right, government need to take action, right? Because as the caller said, rightly said, it was the reasons why these persons were removed from there was because for their safety. So why would you continue to encourage people to go back right there? You're defeating the purpose, And so we need and Minister Toes, it's your constituency, boss. You need to do something more. The persons in Tilleries and Munich, they crying out, boss. Right, you my parliamentary representative.
As Coach I'll say getting a pedicure now, you busy.
Well, you understand, you my MP. So I could tell you that. I ain't expect me Master Carl and Igor to tell you that I am a constituent of St. Andrews Southwest. Right? And I can tell you that you are not performing. And the persons around you, close around you, know that nothing is being done and they are not helping you. Minister Andrews, you need to have a team that would be out there ensuring and knowing what is needed by your constituents. Some of them have an idea, but the majority of the persons you have doing work for you, boss, They need work on themselves. Trust me, they need work on themselves. Good afternoon to you, Petlin. Continue doing a good job. All right, so hey, Minister Toes, you need to do better.
You go buy for me there. You know the khaki for me there.
You like khaki? You like that khaki
Not
government?
many people like it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the khaki government.
Khaki.
And I think this is how we describe our government. This is a real word. It's not made up.
Okay.
It has Greek origins. It is called a kakistocracy. Google it. A kakistocracy.
Surely you're making things up now.
Google it.
I mean, I love the word, but what is the meaning?
Okay. You Google it and you tell me the meaning.
Okay.
And tell me this does not adequately describe our government.
Now I'm typing kaki into my work computer.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Kakistocracy.
Kakistocracy.
Kakistocracy. And give me the definition.
Literally, a government by the worst people.
Yes.
A government by the least suitable or competent citizens of a state.
Yes, he agree.
So, therefore, it shouldn't surprise you as to the action because the least
suitable,
competent, and suitable people are in government right now.
Yeah, they most definitely, and a majority of our people don't know it. That's why we continue to give them information, let them know who they are dealing with, right? Over excitement and promises and lies, these guys get into office, right? Now the truth is catching up with them, right?
A.J. Williams.
Yeah, we need to continue to convince them, bring the truth to them, let them determine and decide for themselves. That's the only way. Because these guys they have to lie to cover another lie.
A.J.
Right?
Williams.
It's amazing.
Enjoy the new gas prices tomorrow. Why cap it at 15? If we
$17 a gallon.
If we could give you for less. So Andy, why? Because I believe in you. I take your word for it. You say, why cap it at 15? If we could give you for less. So why are you giving them for almost $17 now, Andy? You taking advantage on them too? Because you say, we could give you. And next one, see, since NDC coming power, gas price going on worldwide. But down there in Jamaica riding with security.
Since NDC coming power, gas price.
Yeah, down in Jamaica with security.
I like that. We have a call.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Bro.
Yeah, bro. The farm labor, the government put out farm labor. They send 3 person give me the work my land. Well, going on a month and a week now. I go down, I send people about 6 times already in the office. All now the people can get the money. Huh? This farm labor.
I work in some lands, bro.
Huh?
I work in some lands and you have some other guys working lands close to me. So they say, well, these people ain't come and check them. For farm labor, I say, watch, my name is Carl Keaton.
Careful.
When they see Carl Keaton, they just go laugh. They never take part in this thing. They just go laugh. Because that's how it is. I don't give them no opportunity to vindic me.
Yeah, every day.
So the man don't get any funds.
Every day, you ever done me walking in me, well, you don't me making nice more than.
But that you say man is he senior man in agriculture? Because
yes.
Toes
Andrews.
Mr. Andrews?
Yeah, he's a point.
Mr. Andrews.
He's a minister.
The farm labor people don't get any funds.
Yeah. And you know how to find money, eh?
Yeah. And you know how to find money, Mr. Andrews.
Yes. You don't pay them people late.
3 days work, you know.
Because Carl Reno still say he don't get any money too.
No, man. They play now, man. When they get double worse, you know. You don't worse again, you know. Double worse. Okay.
Former Prime Minister Tillman Thomas. 6 minutes. Former Prime Minister Tillman Thomas' government was deuced to these guys, you know. Understand? I mean, the kind of things that these guys are doing. I mean, Minister Andrews, you claim and you say that we will never pay it. We know how to find money.
Yeah, give me that clip there because I have to remind him.
But you have the least, I mean, the most vulnerable people waiting for months just to collect their money.
Where's
about empty treasury. Empty treasury. We in the NDC, we have the exposure
and the know-how.
We have had the exposure.
We have had it. Exposure will make you find money.
And we know what to do to find money, to look after the needs of our people. And as I have the mic, let me say,
You should have dropped
as we go around,
just drop it, boom.
As we go around the country and we speak to our people, that's a topic that they always say to us. We go pay salary late, and we don't know how to run a country. Tell them that we say we know how to run a country, and tell them that we wouldn't pay salary late. All right? Tell them that affirmatively. We're not going to pay salary late, and we know how to run
a country. Wherever I'm a color.
And that was a lie.
That was a lie.
And it's that.
A big lie.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, I just want to congratulate you all for giving us the information that we need to do, because the government and the Prime Minister already said that they're going to give us information on and need to know basis. Now, I take that statement serious, because in countries that are undemocratic, that's what happens. The people get information on a need-to-know basis. So I wonder if they are setting us up for a kind of mini dictatorship. And secondly, the housing that need repairs and the occupy those houses are asked to pay, because I think they are owing $4-point-something million. Now, what the government should do, I think, is to give these people and them some form of amnesty, because they already gave amnesty to those people who rob us. The penalty for taxes and punishment, they gave them amnesty for that. And these are the bigger people. These are the people who have money. But those people who are living in those houses, they should be given the same thing also. So I think we have to keep on pushing and pressing, because we cannot allow those guys to continue doing that. I am Grenadian and I love Grenada, and I want to see things improve. We want information. Can't tell me you're serving us and you're giving me information on a need-to-know basis. That should not continue. They have to press. The journalists and them have to keep on pressing. But I know that many of them have been bought. So they're not saying much now, because they're in the same part now with the government. So they are not asking the relevant questions. If it was the former government and these things were happening, oh my, you would have heard the Bernard, the Bartholomew, and the Antoine and them always on the radio, but now you're not hearing them. What happened? Are they patriotic Grenadians or just partisan politicians?
All right, caller.
Have a good evening and continue the great job.
They can hear this. Somebody said yesterday in Paraclete, one guy put cutlass in a farmer's neck because he wants the money from the work he did under the farm labor and not getting money.
But the government is supposed to pay.
Yeah, but he go by the farmer, so the farmer in problem.
Jesus.
So Mr. Andrew, find money and don't pay late.
Serious.
The people and them want the money.
So that farmer in Paraclete living under fear.
Of course. And maybe a number of others too, but they're just not saying anything.
So Mr. Andrew and how they call him, Mr. Thomas? Adrian Thomas?
Adrian Thomas.
Honorable Senator Adrian Thomas. The farmer in Paraclete where they put the cutlass in the neck yesterday, Because under the farm labor, some men work for him. And all you do paying them. But you tell the people and them because they ask you that, you know, Mr. Andrew. They see all of us spill it. And I doesn't think. And you tell them no, you give them blessed assurance Jesus was theirs. Bring Jesus to the people. Let them get their money anyway.
My final thoughts today is to continue to advocate for an amnesty to the persons that fell into that category of owing the housing authority. I urge and I beg, I plead of the government, just as you do for the business people and so who owed government penalties and so, you give them an amnesty. These persons not just need it, you have to give them.
All right, folks, we out. Ego, you good? Yeah, man, you're balanced.
One-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, yes again. For their own abuses.